second video. Um, I know I said that this was second video I was going to do my piano part and show you what I did with the piano, but the piano is pretty boring, so I lied. I'm going to skip instead to the voice because I think the voice is like the most interesting, fun part of the whole thing, and I can show you the different effects that I used on that. So because this is an outrageous remix, I had to find my voice online somewhere, and I wanted to find a original stem which I could remix and add to my drums and sound cool. So I found this little baby on YouTube, and I have put the link to the video that I found it on online. I thought it'd be quite fun to do something. I really wanted to have basically old tutorial videos from like the 1940s. I just love the way that they speak and how misogynistic and terrible they were. And I ended up finding one called, it was like about making friends at university, and how to make friends when you like move schools. And because I've just come out to University of Sydney on exchange, I thought it resonated with me quite a lot, and I loved the way he was speaking and sort of crackle in his voice. It did mean though, however, because I found it on YouTube, and because I was using Soundflower, which you can see up here, it's a plugin that you can get on your laptop. So Soundflower allows you to basically record audio that you play on your laptop. So it basically turns your laptop into a audio recorder. So you don't have to get like annoying reverb and backward sound. It just makes it sound very fresh. You just have to make sure that your sound is turned up to full volume. Otherwise you don't, like, the sound will sound really strange when you put it in because it will come out really quiet in comparison to the rest of your track, and then you have to add loads of extra filters and all this random yada yada on top to make it sound good. So I didn't do that. I just turned up the volume full and recorded it straight off YouTube into my DAW onto this section. I don't do any work in this part. I just don't like it. You can, if you're doing anything which is live recording, you want to record it into this part because it's just, I think, better. You can cue different sections. What I will do in this part is if I'm doing a send to, for example, send to reverb or send to delay, I will do it in this part. But otherwise, I do everything on here. So I just recorded that in. When you're recording on Soundflower, you have to make sure it's on auto. You put it 1/2 and you click this little red button there so you can record it. And then you start, obviously, the recording up here, which I'm not going to do because that will mess up my work. So yeah, so I'll play you the original, or not the original, but yeah, I will play you the original actually. Let's just switch all this off. Take off all of the effects that I've put on. So this is what I had. Let me double check that this is the right, yeah, this is the right one. So this is what I had before.
In class, it's not so bad. But when school's out and the others go off to enjoy themselves, well, if you're what they call a shy guy, that's when you really feel the loneliness of being.
Okay, so annoyingly, because of my automation, it's already done the sort of, you could hear it sort of trailed off during that. That's because of the automation on the whole track, which came with the drums that I had done. Which I did ages ago, and I need to remember how I did that because I cannot remember to save the life of me. So that has changed the voice there, and it does it throughout the track, so it kind of trails off and it sounds more like all parts are working together. If I had just stuck in an audio, it might sound like it's very disjointed from my track. So when I figure out how I did the automation, I will make another video on that and put that in there. But I need to go back through my track and completely look at it. What I can show you is you could hear that there's a lot of background noise in that. So I just wanted to clean it up a bit, make it a bit more sounding like it was more realistic and more full. But I still wanted to keep that raw voice coming through so it was loud. So what I did is I first EQ'd it. So
in class, it's not so bad.
Cutting out the lower.
But when school's out and the others go off to enjoy themselves, well, if you're what they call a shy guy,
adding a bit
that's
more.
when you really feel.
Trying to keep the mids and highs there.
You don't know how to make people
then I added
like
the
you.
Utility.
And you find yourself holding a grudge against them. You're standing on the outside looking in.
I think the Utility makes the biggest difference in sound. I personally like it. Other people might not. That's your opinion. That's fine. but I added the gain to it, so it just sounds louder. And I didn't change anything with this. I just made it mono, so it's coming from one source rather than from around the room. But I just liked it because when you play the whole track, it makes it actually sound like you can actually then hear the words. Before, when I played it, it was really difficult to make any sense of what he was saying. I don't have a plugin to make certain consonants sound louder. So, because I'm doing this super cheap, I just added this utility. And then, continuing on,
you might have something to contribute to conversation, but nobody cares whether you do or not. There's a barrier, and you don't know how to begin breaking it down.
So what I did with here is I just added classical compression on top, and the compression just removes it from getting in the way of the kick. Because when I added the gain, I realized I was like, damn, that's loud. So I put classical compression on, and brought down the threshold so that it has to surpass a certain threshold to be heard. And then I added on top a de-esser.
Conversation, but nobody cares whether you do or not. There's a barrier, and you don't know how to begin breaking it down. You imagine they keep watching the way you look, the way you act.
And the de-esser just takes out some of the annoying sounds, so it sounds a little nicer. But then I thought it would be really boring, like super, super boring, to just have the original track. I wanted to make it a bit more interesting. So, if we come down here to number 23, this is where stuff gets complicated. So, let's solo this one.
In class, it's not so bad. But when school's out and the others go off to enjoy themselves, well, if you're what they call a shy guy, that's when you really feel it. The loneliness of being...
So as you can hear, this one's a little bit more dispersed, a little bit more reverby than this one.
In class, it's not so bad. But when school's out and the others go off to enjoy themselves, well, if you're what they call a shy...
And they play together at the same time. This is not only to add more to the voice, to make it louder, but also because I think it just adds a nice little echo in the background. And what I did here for the audio track is I took the original raw, I duplicated this to make this. I added compression, and compressed it instead of to the kick. I compressed it to the other audio, so it kind of stays out of the way. It just goes down a bit. I don't know if that's correct. That's just what I wanted to do, and it sounded nice, so I did it. I then added an EQ, and then I put a utility on it as well to give it a little bit of gain. But what I did to the original sound is I took this original, I reversed it, okay? So I took the raw, I reversed that, then I clicked send to, and I sended it to A, and A is my reverb. So I sent it to A, where I had the reverb on it. And then this is the grand piano, but on one of them I had sent it to A. I've undone that now, to add reverb to it. And then I re-recorded it back into the track, the reversed version with reverb. But I only recorded sends only, so I only recorded the reverb part rather than recording the whole track. And then when I had it in this new section, the reversed version with the reverb of the sends only part, I re-reversed it again, so it was the right way round, and then ended up getting this sound, which I then added the compression to and the EQ8 to.
In class, it's not so bad. But when school's out and the others go off to enjoy...
So it adds like a nice little echo in the background. I don't know if that's a bit extra of me to have done all that for just that sound, but why not?
Class, it's not so bad. But when school's out and the others go off to enjoy themselves, well...
Cool. So that is that. Then I thought it'd be fun to sort of switch it up a bit, add a few different sounding things. So here we've got this part.
Holding a grudge against them. You're standing on the outside looking in. You might have some...
So for this bit, I took the same. I EQ'd it, but before I EQ'd it, and I only took the high parts because I didn't want the boofy low parts because I've got so many lows on my drums and I've got so many lows in the main voice part. So I just wanted the high bit to add like a little ringy extra effect. And I grain delayed it, but I grain delayed it on the pitch, so the pitch changed. And I didn't delay it that much. I only put on 1 second because when I delayed it first, I had it on around like 3 seconds later, and then it just sounded really messy and cluttered. Um, so I just shortly grain delayed it. So that is what I've done there. And then if we go along here to this section, number 22, just solo this.
There's a barrier, and you don't know how to begin breaking it down. Begin breaking it down.
So that's quite fun. Yeah, those downs are going to continue for a while because I got it on a serious echo. All this is a little bit of grain delay again with the pitch. So similar thing to what I've done here. I think I've used a different pitch here though. I used number one, I used a delay of 3 seconds, and then my pitch is 2.55 with 107 hertz, and this is 144 hertz with a 12 pitch and only a 1 second, so slightly different voice just to make it more interesting, and also because I just like the sound better. And then what I did was I added this echo, which is analog triplet dub, which is another effect that you can just get from the audio effects rack that you find on Ableton.